Attention night dwellers. Congratulations on choosing knowledge over more menial dopamine, but this is best experienced while completing your nightly rituals or lying in bed contemplating your life choices. If you're seeking quick entertainment fixes, your dopamine dealer is in another castle. For those ready to embrace enlightenment in the dark, welcome to Learn at Night. Your FBI agent approves of this educational decision. You already know they're watching and subscribed too.
Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. It seems like biohacking is everywhere these days.
It really does feel like it's the new buzzword, doesn't it?
It is, especially when it comes to sleep. I mean, it's all over X.
Oh, yeah.
I have all the hashtags, hashtag sleep hacks, hashtag biohacking sleep.
Yep.
You seen those?
Oh, for sure.
Like suddenly just getting enough sleep isn't good enough.
Right, okay.
Now we have to optimize it. We got to supercharge it. We've got to hack it.
Totally, yeah. We've gone from, counting sheep to measuring our sleep cycles and analyzing our brain waves.
Yeah, totally.
Even thinking about tweaking our gut bacteria.
In the name of better sleep.
Exactly. And you've sent me a ton of articles and research on this, so you are clearly as intrigued as I am.
Oh, definitely.
So, is this stuff legit?
Yeah.
Or are we all just falling for the latest, wellness trend?
Right.
What do you think?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. We've got a ton of information to go through.
Yes, we do. From studies on blue light and temperature to more experimental techniques like binaural beats and, sleep-inducing smoothies.
Smoothies. Okay, now I'm really curious. But first, let's start with some basics.
Okay, sure.
Like, what are the things we can control right now in our sleep environment? Light seems to be a big one.
It's a huge word, yeah.
Especially the blue light from our screens.
Absolutely. So our bodies have this internal clock. It's called the circadian rhythm, and it regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
Right.
And a key player in this cycle is a hormone called melatonin.
Melatonin.
Melatonin, yep. And you can think of melatonin as like a sleep signal. It's telling your body it's time to wind down.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Blue light, the kind that's emitted from our phones, laptops, and even some light bulbs,
Oof, yes.
it actually suppresses melatonin production.
So it's basically like the blue light is telling our brains, nope, not sleepy time yet. Time to scroll through TikTok for another hour.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And this disruption of melatonin, it can really impact our sleep quality.
I believe it.
There's a ton of research on this. Like, one study in Sleep Medicine Reviews looked at the effects of evening blue light exposure, and they found that it led to difficulty falling asleep, reduced sleep duration, and even less alertness the next day.
Wow. So those late night scrolling sessions are doing more damage than I thought. I guess those blue light blocking glasses I wear aren't just a fashion statement after all.
Well, the research does suggest that they can be helpful, especially if you're someone who spends a lot of time in front of screens in the evening.
Yeah.
It's all about minimizing that blue light exposure before bed, to give your body a chance to naturally produce melatonin.
You know, it's funny. For a long time, I thought those glasses were just a gimmick, like those detox foot pads you see advertised online. But the science behind blue light and melatonin actually makes a lot of sense.
It's good to be skeptical, but in this case, yeah, the research does support the use of blue light blocking glasses. And it's not just about the glasses themselves, it's about creating a sleep-conducive environment overall. Which brings us to another important factor, temperature.
Right. Our sources mentioned that the ideal sleep temperature is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which, I gotta say, seems a little chilly to me. But who am I to argue with science, right?
Right. I mean, it might seem a little counterintuitive.
It does.
But our bodies actually sleep better in a cooler environment. Think about it. Like, when you fall asleep naturally, your core body temperature drops slightly. So a cooler room can actually help facilitate this process.
So it's like our bodies are saying, okay, it's getting cold, time to hibernate. But seriously, why does a cooler room actually lead to better sleep? Is it just about, feeling more comfortable?
There's more to it than just comfort. Studies have shown that a cooler bedroom temperature can lead to deeper and more restorative sleep. Like, one study in Nature, they found that participants who slept in a cooler room experienced more slow-wave sleep.
Oh, okay.
Which is that DUP stage of sleep, the one that's crucial for physical restoration and memory consolidation.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Deeper sleep, better recovery, fewer wrinkles. I'm sold. So, how do we make sure our bedrooms are the perfect sleep temperature? Do we all need to invest in those fancy smart thermostats? I saw one the other day that had a sleep mode and everything.
Oh, wow. While smart thermostats can definitely create a more personalized and comfortable sleep environment, they're not a necessity. You can achieve a similar effect by just adjusting your thermostat manually before bed.
You know what's funny is I actually tried sleeping with the thermostat lower, but then I ended up piling on so many blankets I practically suffocated myself. Maybe I just need to invest in some warmer pajamas.
Well, yeah. The key is to find a balance between coolness and comfort. Maybe start by lowering the temperature a degree or two each night and see how you adjust. You might be surprised by how much of a difference it makes.
Okay, so we've got our sleep sanctuary all set up. Dark, cool, maybe even a little bit like stylish meat locker.
Right.
What's next on our biohacking adventure?
Well, now that we've covered the external factors, let's delve into some of the internal hacks.
Ooh.
The stuff that goes beyond just tweaking our environment
Yes.
and starts tapping into our biology.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Are we talking about like gene editing,
Yeah.
microchip implants?
Whoa.
Tell me you've got some juicy research on that.
Hold your horses. We're not quite at the cyborg stage yet.
Okay.
Although I admit the future of biohacking does have some mind-blowing possibilities.
Right.
But for now, let's focus on some techniques that are a bit more accessible, like sound therapy.
Sound therapy. Like listening to whale songs before bed. I actually tried that once. It just made me need to pee every 5 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Whale songs might not be the most effective, but there's a growing body of research on how specific sound frequencies can actually influence our brainwaves and promote sleep. We're talking about things like binaural beats
Okay.
and white noise.
Binaural beats, I've heard of those. Aren't those like audio illusions that kind of trick your brain into relaxing? I tried them once, and I swear it sounded like a robot dolphin was trapped in my head. Didn't really help me sleep, but it did make for a very strange dream.
Yeah. Well, as with any biohacking technique, individual responses can vary, but there's actually some pretty solid science behind binaural beats.
Okay.
The idea is that by listening to two slightly different frequencies, one in each ear, your brain creates a third phantom frequency that corresponds to a specific brainwave state.
So, like, if you wanted to induce deep sleep, you'd listen to frequencies that correspond to delta waves, which are the ones associated with that deep, dreamless sleep.
Exactly.
So it's like brainwave manipulation through sound.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And several studies have shown promising results, like one study that was published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that listening to binaural beats in the delta frequency range, you know the one we were just talking about?
Yeah. They found that increased slow wave sleep and improved overall sleep quality in participants.
That's really cool. Maybe I should give those another try. I do have a confession to make, though. My go-to sleep sound is actually the hum of my refrigerator. Is that weird?
No, not at all.
Really?
It's all about finding what works for you.
Okay.
White noise, like the hum of a refrigerator or a fan, can be incredibly soothing for some people.
I find it very soothing.
Yeah, it helps to mask other sounds that might disrupt sleep.
Right.
So it kind of creates a more consistent auditory environment.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like those noise-canceling headphones, but instead of blocking out all sound, it creates a blanket of sound that drowns everything else out.
Precisely. And speaking of things that can create a soothing blanket, let's move on to another intriguing area of biohacking: food.
Food. Okay.
Yeah, we all know what we eat can impact our sleep,
Of course. Yes.
but did you know that when we eat can be just as important?
Wait, really? I thought it was just about avoiding, like, heavy meals right before bed. Like, no more late-night pizza binges if I want to get a good night's sleep.
While avoiding those big, greasy meals close to bedtime is definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
There's more to the food-sleep connection than just the timing.
Okay.
The types of foods we eat and the nutrients they contain can actually influence our sleep cycles and our neurotransmitter production.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. So, like, instead of counting sheep, I should be counting carbs and proteins.
Pretty much, yeah.
Give me the inside scoop. What food should I be loading up on for better sleep?
Well, one key player in the sleep game is tryptophan.
Tryptophan.
Yeah, which is an essential amino acid that our bodies convert into serotonin and melatonin.
Wait, tryptophan, isn't that the stuff in turkey that makes everyone sleepy after Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah.
So all those years of, like, post-turkey naps were actually science in action.
That's exactly right.
That's amazing.
Turkey is a great source of tryptophan,
Yeah.
as are other foods like chicken and fish, eggs, and nuts. Consuming these tryptophan-rich foods earlier in the evening can help boost your serotonin and melatonin production,
Right.
setting the stage for a smoother transition into sleep.
Okay, this is all starting to click.
Yeah.
So it's not just about avoiding certain foods before bed, but also strategically incorporating specific foods earlier in the day to prime our bodies for sleep.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Interesting.
But it's not just about single nutrients like tryptophan.
Right.
The overall balance of your diet and the health of your gut microbiome can have a really profound impact on your sleep quality.
Hold on, gut microbiome. Now we're really getting deep. I thought that was just about like digestion and, pooping regularly. How can that possibly be connected to sleep?
It's amazing, right? It's a fascinating connection.
Yeah.
Our gut is home to trillions of bacteria,
I know, it's crazy.
collectively known as the gut microbiome.
Right.
And these little guys play a much bigger role in our overall health than we previously realized. They influence everything from digestion and immunity to our mental health.
Mm.
And you guessed it, sleep.
Okay, I'm officially mind blown. So, if my gut bacteria are happy, I'll sleep better. Does that mean I need to start talking to my gut like it's a pet? Like, good bacteria, please make me sloopy.
Well, while talking to your gut might not hurt, the key is to nourish it with the right foods to promote a diverse and balanced microbiome. This means focusing on fiber-rich fruits, vegetables, and whole grains,
Okay.
as well as fermented foods like yogurt and sauerkraut, which are packed with beneficial bacteria.
Okay, so basically, if I want to biohack my sleep, I need to start by biohacking my gut.
That's a good way to think about it, yeah.
It's like a whole ecosystem in there. I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed by all this information, but in a good way.
It can be a lot to take in, but remember, the beauty of biohacking is that it's really a journey of self-discovery.
Right.
It's about exploring different techniques and listening to your body and finding what works best for you. And who knows, maybe you'll discover some surprising connections along the way, like the link between your gut and your dreams.
That's a great point. All right, we're back, ready to continue our deep dive into biohacking for better sleep.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground. Light, temperature, sound, even gut health.
I know, it's amazing how many different factors can actually influence our sleep.
It really is. And it's this complexity that fuels both the excitement and the debate surrounding biohacking.
Right.
On one hand, you have all these people who swear by it. They're claiming it's totally transformed their sleep and their lives. They're tracking their sleep cycles. They're experimenting with all these different gadgets and techniques. And they just feel so empowered to take control of their sleep destiny.
I get that. It's like being a sleep detective.
Yeah.
Gathering all this data and uncovering the secrets to unlocking your best sleep ever. Plus, let's be honest, some of the gadgets out there are really cool. Like, I saw this sleep mask that uses light therapy to stimulate melatonin production, and another one that tracks your brainwaves and plays these personalized soundscapes to guide you into deep sleep. It's like science fiction come to life.
It is. It's a really exciting time to be interested in sleep. But on the other hand, there are also people who are a little more skeptical,
Oh, for sure.
questioning if it's all hype,
Yeah.
and if it really delivers on all of its promises.
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from. It's easy to get caught up in the latest trends, especially when it's something as essential as sleep. We're all desperate for a good night's rest, so we're willing to try almost anything.
Right.
But how do we know it actually works? Is there enough scientific evidence to back up all these claims?
That's the million-dollar question. And unfortunately, the answer isn't always clear-cut. Some biohacking techniques, like light therapy and using white noise, they have a pretty solid foundation of research that supports their effectiveness. But others, especially the newer, more experimental methods, they're still in their early stages of scientific exploration.
So it's a bit of a Wild West out there.
Kind of, yeah.
With cowboys and snake oil salesmen all vying for our attention.
Yeah.
So how do we navigate this landscape without getting lost in a sea of gadgets and gimmicks?
Well, first and foremost, it's important to approach biohacking with a healthy dose of skepticism
Okay.
and a critical eye. Don't just blindly follow every trend or believe every testimonial you read online. Remember, what works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
We all have unique biology, sleep patterns, and lifestyle factors that can influence our sleep.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Darn, I was hoping for a magic sleep potion I could just chug before bed.
I'm afraid not. But that's also what makes biohacking so fascinating. It's a journey of self-discovery. Experimenting and fine-tuning different techniques to find what works best for you. And it starts with understanding the fundamentals of good sleep hygiene.
Right. We can't just rely on gadgets and hacks to do all the work for us. We have to kind of set the stage for good sleep by creating a sleep-conducive environment,
Yeah.
establishing a regular sleep schedule and just practicing good sleep habits.
Absolutely. Things like minimizing caffeine and alcohol before bed, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, and ensuring your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool. Those are all essential foundations for healthy sleep.
Yeah, it's like building a house. You need a strong foundation before you can start adding all the fancy features.
Exactly.
But hey, once you've got that foundation in place, why not experiment with some fun biohacks? It's like adding a rooftop jacuzzi to your sleep sanctuary.
Right. Think of biohacking as a way to enhance and personalize your sleep experience. Not to replace the basics. Maybe blue light blocking glasses help you wind down in the evening, or maybe you find that a certain type of white noise helps you fall asleep faster. It's all about figuring out what works for you.
So it's a bit of a trial and error process.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
starting to get excited about this.
Yeah.
It's like a science experiment. But instead of like blowing up beakers in a lab, we're optimizing our sleep.
That's a great way to put it. And as with any experiment, it's important to track your progress
Right.
and see what's working. Keep a sleep journal, monitor your energy levels throughout the day, pay attention to how different biohacks are affecting your sleep quality.
I've always been fascinated by sleep trackers and those apps that analyze your sleep cycles. Is that data actually useful, or is it just another way to obsess over numbers?
I think sleep trackers can be really valuable tools, especially if you're just starting to explore biohacking. They can provide insights into your sleep patterns, identify potential disruptions, and help you pinpoint areas where you might want to try experimenting with different techniques.
So if my sleep tracker tells me I'm not getting enough deep sleep, maybe I should try those binaural beats or experiment with my room temperature.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like having a personal sleep coach right there on my wrist.
Right. And as you gather more data, you can really start to see patterns and connections.
Yeah.
Fine-tune your sleep routine and your biohacking techniques to create a truly personalized sleep experience.
This is amazing. I'm already feeling more empowered to take control of my sleep. But before we get too carried away with all the gadgets and the hacks, I think it's important to remember that sometimes the best thing we can do for our sleep is just relax and let our bodies do their thing.
I couldn't agree more. In our quest to optimize every aspect of our lives, it's easy to forget the power of simplicity. Sometimes the best sleep hack is just disconnecting from technology, dimming the lights, and just allowing ourselves to unwind naturally.
Yeah, it's like hitting the reset button on our sleep system.
Yeah.
No screens, no noise, just pure, unadulterated rest.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds heavenly.
It really does. So as we wrap up our deep dive into biohacking for better sleep, I want to leave you with this thought. Embrace the potential for innovation and personalization, but don't let the pursuit of perfect sleep become another source of stress. Find what works for you, listen to your body, and above all, just give yourself permission to rest.
Beautifully said. And who knows, maybe someday we'll all be sleeping like babies in our personalized sleep pods,
Right.
with robot butlers tucking us in and whispering soothing bedtime stories.
Oh, I love that.
But until then, sweet dreams, everyone.
Well, congratulations on separating yourself from the horde of dopamine zombies out there. Share this sacred knowledge with someone who still has a spark of curiosity left. Return tomorrow night when the digital cattle have exhausted their screen time. We'll be waiting with more forbidden insights.